And welcome everyone to an NABC chat. I'm Andy Katz, pleased to be joined by Missouri head coach Dennis Gates. And Dennis, before we sort of deal with the summer, now that we have a chance to sort of talk in this forum, you've had some time to be at Missouri. Obviously, got to know your guys a little bit. You haven't coached a game yet, we know that, but ultimately, because you had many opportunities out of Cleveland State, why was this the right one for you at this time?
Well, that's a great question. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm thankful, man. And I think it comes down to our campus leadership, President Choi, but also our athletic director, Desiree Reed-Francois. It takes alignment to serve its course in presenting itself. And that's what Mizzou gave me. I truly believe the alignment here, the fan base, the tradition, the coaches who have come before me, whose shoulders I stand on, Norm Stewart, Quinn Snyder, Coach Haith, Coach Anderson, those guys have done a great job in addition to most recent Conzo Martin. They have done a great job during their tenure here. And it is just an unbelievable fan base that is basketball educated. And it's a great institution.
So building a roster is quite different today than it was in years past.
Absolutely.
Right off the bat, you got a big time transfer from Missouri State and Isaiah Mosley, able to keep Kobe Brown. How were you able to sort of navigate the retention, the transfer portal to put together a roster that you feel can compete in the SEC next season?
Well, I think the most important, as soon as we got the job, was hiring a great staff, a staff that could develop talent, identify talent, but also coach, right? In game is very important, and those decisions matter. Kobe Brown was the most important recruit. I truly believe in the retention of a kid that decided under the leadership of Conzo Martin to call Mizzou home. I truly think that he and his family's commitment to this institution allowed me the opportunity to sit down with them. So you look at Kobe Brown, you look at Caleb Brown, you look at Ronnie DeGray III, those three guys remained. And we were able to then build around. And obviously we did it with two Cleveland State guys, matter of fact, three. Then DeAndre Golston, we were able to do it with Noah Carter, a big time player, but the point guard position was very important. We did it with a high major transfer in our point guard play, where you had to find a guy with great assist to turnover ratio. You had to do that. And Nick Honor has that experience. He has NCAA experience. And then getting a guy like Sean East, JUCO Player of the Year. Again, another kid, great assist to turnover ratio. Those guys allow us to play at a pace that can now attract and obviously mold a team dynamic. And you mentioned his name earlier, Mr. Mosley. He's a great player. He's done tremendous since his time here, and we're excited to put it all together.
Yeah, big time scorer. For Missouri fans watching, how do you want to play next season?
Well, we want to put pressure on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. I truly believe the first 6 seconds belong to our players and their instincts. We have to allow them to play with some freedom, but also we have to play with an unselfish spirit that now the ball finds the best shot. And when you play that way, your defense is igniting those opportunities. Your rebounding is igniting those opportunities. And we're going to continue to do those things on both sides of the basketball. Our goal is to obviously be in the top category when it comes to assist to turnover ratio. You have to be able to shoot over 35% from three as a team. We want to be able to rebound at a high level and then obviously win categories. I told my guys, and we have this goal in mind and philosophy, guys, we have to have a defensive player of the year on our team. Someone on this team has to want that award. And if we don't, that means we're not getting those easy baskets that I think ignites our offense and obviously helps us win games.
You were a winner at Cleveland State, certainly Florida State as an assistant. You understand winning. What is that key component to ensuring you've got a winner?
Well, I think it's our eight core values, and we instill those in our guys from day one. It's something that we live by, something that we allow to serve as our compass: friendship, love, accountability, trust, discipline, unselfishness, enthusiasm, and toughness. If you watch our game, you should be able to see those eight core values. If you're listening on the radio, you should be able to hear those eight core values. And however that game is being narrated, I truly believe those eight parts of our philosophy allows our guys to win ball games. And if we can do that, yes, our arena will be one of the best arenas when it comes to home court advantages in the SEC. If we do those things, yes, our end of the year banquet will be unbelievable, built with celebration, right? And then obviously that last Sunday of the season that everyone anticipates is one of those things that you will hope to hear your name called.
So this July, in terms of recruiting, it felt different, just nationally, because there's been so much emphasis on the transfer portal.
Yeah.
NIL has brought a lot of players back to college basketball. There's not as many recruiting dates, not as many events. What was it like this month?
I thought it was great, and our game has always been in a transition with one rule to the next, or even over a period of time. It just happens that this time you see a complete overhaul in that recruiting philosophy because of the portal. Right. And sometimes you have to educate yourself on these young people. You have to see them, evaluate them, but also track them, because at some point the statistic says that they will end up in a portal. But you have to also identify kids who will never transfer, who will be program guys. And I think that's the happy medium that you sometimes have to go into the recruiting with. You want to develop a guy. You want to have a guy that grows through your program, because just as it's important to have a consistent coaching staff, you got to have a consistent roster along the way. And I truly believe a core of guys being recruited to stay in the program is just as important to recruit these 5 stars or 6-star guys, right? And that's what we have to identify.
Yeah, I mean, certainly being on campus has become even more important in the month of July. And one of the things on this, Dennis, is I don't get the sense that there was many coaches flying all over the place, babysitting, for lack of a better word, showing their face and their logo at every single stop, the way it used to be, where you were hopping from place to place to place to make sure that recruit saw you. It seems like you got to make sure you get back to campus enough in this new,
Absolutely.
You're saying this new sort of transition period that we're in right now. What did you see?
I saw similar things, and you have to look at it from the big picture, Andy. The big picture is this: we had opportunities in June to see kids in their high school environments too. We had an opportunity to see them in AAU, so it just wasn't just AAU in the summer. It was both, and now you see a different leader, a different player, and different roles. One role as a high school player is usually being the star, and then adjusting to a new role is being a role player, and obviously someone that can connect with teammates in the AAU scene because of the talent in that environment. So yes, some coaches were able to sit in one place. I think we have a short list of kids that we do recruit, kids that may have been committed. Those are the kids that we would love to spend more time with, while also in some cases just tracking guys that you're trying to identify and see if they're good enough or not, if it's a perfect fit. And that's what we were doing. Sometimes you don't have enough time. I think the sort of endurance of high school kids, it was a long off season for them with travel and et cetera. And we sometimes take that into account if a kid isn't playing as well. So yes, it was that way.
Last thing, Dennis, Bob Huggins is going on in the fall. He's sort of the next college basketball coach. And I'm thinking about the next wave of Hall of Famers in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. And, one of your mentors, Leonard Hamilton, I think about his career. I mean, he basically helped resurrect Miami. The Miami that we see today doesn't happen without Leonard. The Florida State we see today doesn't happen without Leonard. I think he's had a Hall of Fame career. You know him better than I do. What do you think?
I truly have always told him he's been a Hall of Famer, and he's a Hall of Fame coach to those that he has poured into directly. Yes, he was a longtime associate head coach at the University of Kentucky. Many people don't realize that. His first job at Oklahoma State was dormanted. He left Eddie Sutton, a Sweet 16 team. From there, he went to Miami, which was independent. And he was able to win 2 times Coach of the Year and obviously a Sweet 16. Then he got plucked into the NBA, right? He resurrected Florida State. And obviously his most recent success is what people may recall, but he's done this body of work over 5 decades. He's produced so many unbelievable tax-paying citizens, graduates, but also pros. He has a large coaching tree: Bill Self, Dickie Nutt, Corey Williams, Tim Carter, obviously myself, Mike Jaskowski. I can go on and on with the list. Andy Enfield, right? I can go on and on with this list, but I've always told Coach he's my Hall of Famer. But Coach is the type of person where he pours time and effort into people, and sometimes, it's unique to usually get your respect, and his respect is due, and it's long overdue.
I echo those thoughts, Dennis. Thrilled for your success. We're going to look forward to watching Mizzou this season. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. MIZ.